You know, for the life of me, I don't understand why geek culture is now super popular. I mean, where the hell was all this when I was a teenager? Like, nerds like me had to hide away in the library to read all of our fantasy books, and now you're the nerd if you don't have an opinion on how Game of Thrones ended. And I mean, it's great that D&D is now cool because of Stranger Things. It's just a little bit awkward to see the guy who kicked my ass back in the day wear a Gryffindor shirt. I mean, come on, Chad. You threw my backpack out of a moving bus and yelled some anti-Semitic slurs at me. You're definitely a Slytherin. But at least there's one thing that's still specifically for nerds, and that's horror films. Because they show us such great, empowering moments like Jason Voorhees finally standing up to those summer camp bullies. Michael Myers is learning to cope with his childhood trauma. And Sharknado. Well, Sharknado is just Mother Nature getting sick of all of our shit, let's be honest. And even though that geek culture is the biggest phenomenon of the last decade, there's still all the outrage from parents that, you know, video games obviously cause violence. Look, like, you're not going to become a violent killer because you played Mortal Kombat, just like how you're not going to start killing turtles because you played Super Mario. The plastic straws are killing the turtles, not the Italians. But after all these years of playing Call of Duty, I can honestly tell you that it had no effect on my mind. So I joined the Army straight out of high school. And let me just say that video games are nothing like how war actually is. Like, the only thing you unlock after 2 tours of duty is just PTSD. And all the war movies are so overdramatic. You guys know the scene where they're getting ready to fight and the slow piano music starts playing. The guy just pulls out a picture of his wife and says, "One more mission, I'm home, baby." Then boom, he's dead. Oh, those scenes are just so unrealistic. They always get to me. I mean, when I was in combat and we started to hear, like, off in the distance, we just start hearing the slow piano music, we're f***ing running. But I'm still here today, so I get to explain to people what I used to do in the Army. I was a signal system support specialist. Don't worry. In other words, I was that little plastic army guy kneeling with a radio. You know, the best one. Like, I don't care if kids didn't play with that one as much. He's definitely, like, he's not trying to be cool like the officer with the pistol. He knows how to take cover, unlike the guy with the minesweeper. And I don't know what the hell the guy with waving his rifle in the air is doing, but he's a hell of a lot smarter than him. And I mean, being a nerd in the Army wasn't as easy as you'd think. Weird, right? But there's all these pop culture gaps that are just missing from troops' minds while they're deployed. Like, for me, like, everything that came out in, like, the early 2010s just doesn't register in my mind. Joke's on you guys, though, because war is the perfect excuse not to see the Karate Kid remake. And the Army was a lot better because I was still able to make a lot more friends than I did in high school. And sure, Uncle Sam issues you some best friends with your squad mates, but these guys are a lot less fantasy and more fantasy football, you know? So the only way to fit in was to join them. So I had to go to the gym with them, which becomes a lot easier once you start using nerd terms for it. Oh yeah, leveling up my strength points. Man, I'm gonna throw some killer dexterity saving throws after this rep. So I remember when I came back from Afghanistan, I was looking very good. I was a well-decorated war hero and had a good bit of cash to spend. So I did what every soldier does. I went to the bar. And there, I met one of the most beautiful girls that I knew from before. Like, a few years ago, she would have never given me the time of day, but now I was going back to her place. So she started slowly taking off her clothes. "So, what does an Army boy like you like to do now that you're finally home?" I say, "Well, we can turn on some Netflix, if you'd like." She's like, "That sounds so great. What then?" I'm like, I look her dead in the eyes and I say, "You know, I wanted to do this for a long time, but you and I can finally sit down and watch Iron Man 2. All right, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much.